عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Quran Weekly, where we read the Quran in Arabic but discuss it in English. My name is Ahmed.
And my name is Safa.
And we're happy to take you on another journey here today, continuing on chapter 5, starting from verse 27. Before we begin, we always have to give the disclaimer that we are not experts, we are not linguistic experts, we're not professionals in the Arabic language, nor are we well versed in Quranic studies. We are merely going on a journey of learning and education and studying so that we can discover the Quran, and we're inviting you to join us along this journey. So if you notice something that you have a different perspective on, or that you know have some different knowledge on, please feel free to share in the comments. We're here to learn, we're here to talk, we're here to educate. We're not here to pretend that we know everything. So the more that we think about this from an educational setting, the better that it is for everybody. Anything you want to add before we jump into it?
No, thank you.
Let's jump straight in. So as usual, we always begin with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم and بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم means I seek refuge from God, from the devil. And بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, in the name of God, who's most merciful and whose mercy is most encompassing. And off we move.
واتل عليهم نبأ ابني آدم بالحق إذ قربا قربانا فتقبل من أحدهما ولم يتقبل من الآخر قال لأقتلنك قال إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين.
Okay. We start off with a little bit of intensity of a dramatic story that you might have heard before. But let's take a look at what it says. And recites on them the story of the two sons of Adam, which you might know before. Recite the story in truth, that when they were both offered a sacrifice, it was accepted from one of them, and it was not accepted from the other. Said the latter, I will surely kill you. Said the former, only God accepts from the God-fearing. So this is the story of Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
And here we're saying that they're both given sacrifices to give. So they were both given an offering to God. And it was accepted from one of them, the offering, but not from the other. I always confuse which one was the farmer, which one was the...
So Abel was the good guy and Cain was the bad guy.
Yeah, but was he... Which one was the farmer, which one was the butcher? Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. Cain, the firstborn, was a farmer, and his brother Abel was the shepherd. So the farmer was not accepted, the shepherd, his offer was accepted. And here it's saying that the reason that it wasn't accepted, or at least here it's saying that the Abel said to Cain that indeed only God accepts from the God-fearing, the God-mindful, the ones that have God in their heart, the sincerely devout. So yeah, off to a little bit of interesting dramatization. I just want to make sure that you're still in camera.
Yeah.
Cool.
لئن بسطت إلي يدك لتقتلني ما أنا بباسط يدي إليك لأقتلك إني أخاف الله رب العالمين.
It's also really beautiful to hear in Arabic. So here Abel said, if you stretch or you extend your hand towards me to kill me, then I will not stretch or extend my hand towards you to kill you. Indeed, I fear God, the Lord of the world. Now, this is kind of a very powerful setting because it's saying that Abel knew that his brother was going to be violent towards him and that he refused to be violent back because he fears God more than he fears anything else. Very powerful.
أريد أن تبوء بإثمي وإثمك فتكون من
gets a little complicated. Indeed, I wish that you be laden with my sin and your sin, so that you will be from among the companions of fire, and that is the recompense or the reward for the wrongdoers.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's said that Cain was jealous of
of
Abel.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
God accepted his offering, but he didn't accept Cain's offering.
Yeah.
But this is kind of an interesting one because it's saying that I want you to bear your sin against me along with your other sins.
Yeah, if you kill me, meaning if you kill me.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a threat, like knowing that you're going to kill me. That you're saying it. For me, it's not saying as oh no, I'm afraid. It's saying go on, commit your sin, and be a resident of hell for forever, companion of fire, and that is the recompense of the wrongdoers. So it shows both of them knowing consciously what the reward and the punishment is for doing these sins.
Yeah.
Again, I'm always reminded of Ulal Hara.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Children of the Alley, if you caught our last episode.
فطوعت له نفسه قتل أخيه فقتله فأصبح من الخاسرين.
And as we know, the sad ending to that story is that then prompted to him his soul prompted to him, which is a bit interesting. Kill his brother, so he killed him, and he became of the losers. So he becoming a loser. Yeah, this is the losers is plural. But yeah, so we know the ending of Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel, and it's the first murder according to humanity.
History.
The first ever murder. Not the first sin, but the first murder.
Yeah.
فبعث الله غرابا يبحث في الأرض ليريه كيف يواري سوءة أخيه قال يا ويلتى أعجزت أن أكون مثل هذا الغراب فأواري سوءة أخي فأصبح من النادمين.
Okay, very powerful. So now, what did Cain do after he killed his brother? Then God sent a crow scratching in the earth to show him how to hide the dead body of his brother. So Cain said, "Woe be to me! I am unable to be that I can be. How am I able to be like this crow and hide the dead body of my brother?" So he became from the regretful. So he became highly regretful that he's realizing that what he's done to his brother is put him on the level of a crow, burying kind of like an animal burying a carcass. Like, so it really profounded his mistake.
من أجل ذلك كتبنا على بني إسرائيل أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا ولقد جاءتهم رسلنا بالبينات ثم إن كثيرا منهم بعد ذلك في الأرض لمسرفون.
Okay. So from that time, we ordained on
This is why,
this
basically.
that makes sense. This is why we ordained to the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul with other than a soul, so like if you kill a soul that hasn't killed a soul, like not in recompense, not in retaliation, or has spread corruption in the earth, then it is as if they have killed all of mankind entirely. And whoever saves a life, then it's as if he has saved all, mankind, all of it. And surely came to them our messengers with clear signs, yet many of them after that are in the earth, surely who commit excess and
Corruption.
Yeah, so here it's saying that if you kill the punishment for a murder unless it's a punishment for a murder or mischief, if somebody takes a life without there being a life taken in the first place, it will be as if they killed all of humanity, and whoever saves a life, it'll be as if they saved all humanity. Although our messengers came to them with clear proofs, many of them still transgressed afterwards through the land.
Yeah, so it mainly says that whoever kills needs to be killed, like the qasas.
In a way, it says that. I think it talks about that in other places in the Quran, that the punishment for taking a life is taking a life.
Actually, it comes in the next verse. Maybe it's not clearly stated here, but it will come later in these verses.
Here it's just saying that if you kill someone, it's if you called all humanity. If you save someone, you can save all humanity. Which brings me to the question that never mind. It's going to take us too far off the path. So let's continue here.
Okay.
إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله ويسعون في الأرض فسادا أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا أو تقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم من خلاف أو ينفوا من الأرض ذلك لهم خزي في الدنيا ولهم في الآخرة عذاب عظيم.
So this is the verse that you struggled with.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a pretty heavy one. Only is the recompense for those who wage war against God and His messenger and strive in the earth, spreading corruption, is that they be killed or they be crucified, or to be cut off their hands and their feet of opposite sides, or they be exiled from the land. That for them is a disgrace in the world, and for them in the hereafter a punishment that is great. Heavy stuff. It's pretty dark imagery, pretty difficult situation. So let's take the clause first. They wage war against God and His messenger. So this kind of seems to be the very specific clause, which, as far as we know, the messenger isn't in the world and isn't in the real world. So this applies to a specific time back then, unless there's another messenger that we don't know about. And the recompense for that is that they're trying to spread corruption in the earth. So then the punishment is that they be killed or crucified, or they cut off their hands or feet, which is very dark and very painful. On opposite sides?
I don't think it means opposite sides. Their hands and feet on opposite sides? I don't know.
Because that's what this translation is saying.
Yes, min khilaf, yeah. Probably it means opposite sides, yeah.
Which I don't get. So like one foot and one foot and one hand.
I think so. So like right hand and left foot, I think.
Yeah, or left foot and right hand if you want to be.
I think so.
Left, or you said right hand, left foot. I said or left foot and right hand, which is the same thing. Or left hand and right foot is what I meant to say. To be kind of more merciful, but that's a bit interesting.
I don't know. I don't think that this has ever been implemented. Like, I don't think that this was done at any time in history.
Even at the time of the Prophet, this
I
wasn't.
Think so,
they
no.
didn't do this as a compensation for.
I don't think so. But honestly, I cannot explain. I cannot explain it, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, what is the part that you don't understand? That it's so severe?
Yeah, I think it's very severe.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't think we should crucify anyone ever. Why would you crucify someone?
Well, I mean, look at what the claim is. The claim is that they're waging war against God and his messenger and striving to spread corruption in the earth. Like, this is a very big claim. It's not just you're a bad person. It's that you are actively trying to spread evil in the lands.
Yeah, but how do you judge who's spreading corruption in the land? That's also like...
That's a bit hard. That's a bit of a hard one. So for me, because the clause of waging war against God and his messenger, as far as I can see, this isn't a punishment that applies today. And it's not just spreading corruption in the land, because we have a lot of spreading corruption in the land throughout the Quran. But here it's saying that wage war against his messenger, God and his messenger, which I don't see happening in this day and age.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So.
But if you're like, maybe someone would see it that if someone is fighting religion, for example, then he's fighting God and his messenger. You could find a way to apply it to today, and I think a lot of people do that they try to find ways to make this applicable today. You can find a way, I think.
I would say it's a bit of a stretch, because here it says and his messenger, so specifically.
But I think that it never happened. I'm not sure, but I think that this was never applied.
But it's hard to kind of see.
Even the day of even during the time of the messenger, I think. I'm not sure, of course, because in some of the interpretations it was mentioned that it did happen, but you never know.
I would imagine it's possible that it did happen. But yeah, we don't know. Long story short is, the way that we understand this, there is no practical modern day application for this.
I don't think so. And also what seems very severe is like cutting of hands and feet.
Yeah.
That's also very severe.
Yeah.
Like it seems like a very, very severe punishment here.
In our modern day and age, sure.
No.
But then if you think about like wars and destruction and chaos, I mean, would this be applicable for Hitler, for example? Or is this not severe enough?
For me, I don't think that we should do that even to Hitler.
Okay.
And this is why I told you I don't think that I can explain this, because it seems like very far from me.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the kind of person, and I'm not in power or something that I know like how to make it peaceful, how to make a country peaceful, and that we need to do that to keep the peace or secure. I'm not the kind of person who can do that. So.
I think this goes above both of our heads of like whether or not this makes sense. All we can say is that this is quite extreme, and it's not something that we necessarily understand.
Yeah, I don't understand it, and I can't explain it, and I couldn't even go through all the interpretations. Usually I read a lot when it comes for every verse. With this one specifically, I didn't really read everything, because I felt like it was too much for me.
Yeah. Well, let's continue.
إلا الذين تابوا من قبل أن تقدروا عليهم فاعلموا أن الله غفور رحيم.
Okay, we have a comment actually, which is quite nice. Before we get into that phrase, hey guys, happy to see that you're trying to learn the Quran. If you want, there are books called Tafsir that explain the Quran, and the verses I recommend Tafsir Ibn Kathir.
Yeah, we actually read from Tafsir.
Yeah, mostly Safa prepares beforehand. Is it Ibn Kathir that you read through, or?
No, not really, not Ibn Kathir. I read from several Tafsir, but not Ibn Kathir specifically.
Yeah. It's just, she was just stating that specifically for the last verse, it was so heavy that she couldn't go through all the tafasir because it just didn't resonate with her.
Yeah.
Which I understand. So normally we have a lot of tafsir, and that's what we try to discuss throughout the session. Yeah. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. So continuation of the severe verse before it. Here we see mercy. We apply the cutting off the hand and the foot, except for those who repent from before you overpower them or you seize them. Then know that indeed God is oft forgiving and most merciful. And generally you see this as a trend throughout the Quran. Whenever there's punishment, there's always a reprise, a forgiveness, a counterbalance to that limit. So here it gives more light and clarity to that punishment. It's not just those people who transgress, but also those people who transgress up until the very, like, they're persisting in it. They're hell-bent on it, you know?
Yeah.
So how do you stop somebody who's hell-bent on doing this kind of destruction? Not people who change their mind or who forgive or who are only following the flow. But yeah.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وابتغوا إليه الوسيلة وجاهدوا في سبيله لعلكم تفلحون.
Before we get into the verse, we have another comment. You guys are Arabs, and what do you believe in? Yes, we're both Arabs. We come from a variety of Arab countries. Safa comes from Egypt. I come from Palestine, Jordan, and I grew up in Bahrain and lived in Dubai for 10 years. So I come from a mix. And we are both Muslims. But for me, I believe in what the Quran is saying. And the Quran is saying that Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad were all prophets and messengers of God. And they all have messages that we have to learn from and follow their teachings. We have to follow and believe in all of the prophets and messengers. So I believe that there's lessons that we can learn from Christianity and lessons that we can learn from Judaism, as they are all the Abrahamic religions. So we know that the Torah and the Injil, the Torah and the Bible, are messages from God. We also believe that there has been some distortion in those previous messages, Torah and Injil, the Torah and the Bible, that they're not exactly in the original state that they're in, and that there is some confusion about what's being said within them. But generally, we believe in what the Quran is saying, and that's why we're studying it.
There are a few verses that we will discuss later today that speak about the Torah and the Bible and the different faiths.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we will continue. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O ye of those who believe, fear or be mindful of God, and seek towards Him and the means. What does that mean? And seek what brings you closer to Him?
Yeah.
And strive hard in His way, so that you may be succeed. Yeah. So here's kind of the general trends of the advice given to the believers. Be mindful of God, seek what brings you closer to Him, and struggle in His way so that you may be successful. And I've found the personal relation to this. I've had an interesting life, let's just say. And last year when I reconverted to Islam and I kind of started heading towards God, I found my life started getting better bit by bit, and things were just working out, and my relationship with my family was improving, my relationship to work was improving, my relationship with myself. So like, I found that personally for me, this is quite relevant. The closer you get to God, the happier you are, the more stable you are, the more connected you are. It really does feel like success, and it's not just for success for the hereafter. It's also success for the world that we're in, which I find personally I relate to.
إن الذين كفروا لو أن لهم ما في الأرض جميعا ومثله معه ليفتدوا به من عذاب يوم القيامة ما تقبل منهم ولهم عذاب أليم.
Okay. Indeed, those who disbelieve, if that for them if for them comes what is in the earth in its entirety and the like of it, so whatever the earth times two, if they had the earth times two with them, to ransom themselves with it from the punishment of the day of resurrection, of the day of judgment, it would not be accepted from them, and for them is a severe a torment that is painful. So you can bring the whole world twice, and you won't be able to get out of the punishment at the end of the days. And the comment says, of course, Allahumma baraka fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for dropping by. You have a wonderful name. The profile name is Kitbuk. Sorry, I had to try. But thank you for joining our channel. We're very happy to have you here. Wa alaikum assalam. We appreciate you. We also post these episodes on YouTube. It's the same as my Twitch name, Preacher Rabba. And you can just find that on YouTube, and you can find all of our content, all of our episodes up until this specific chapter that we're in today. So you can see the previous ones. We'd love your feedback and your comments on it. Ismi Zainuddin. Ahlan Zainuddin. Hi Zainuddin, welcome.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Okay, and we continue.
يريدون أن يخرجوا من النار وما هم بخارجين منها ولهم عذاب مقيم.
Continuation of the people who could take all the world, the disbelievers who could take all the world and twice its value and still try to get out of hell. They won't be able to. They will wish to come out of the fire, but it's not for them to come out from. And for them is a torment that is everlasting.
والسارق والسارقة فاقطعوا أيديهما جزاء بما كسبا نكالا من الله والله عزيز حكيم.
Okay, another verse that you struggled with.
Yeah.
For the male thief and the female thief, then cut off their hands as a recompense for what they have earned, and an exemplary punishment from God, and indeed God is almighty and all wise. Now, if we understand this straightforward, it seems literally cut off their hands for what they've done, a deterrent from God, and God is almighty, all wise. But from my dad, he explained to me once a bit more of a humane approach to it. Aqta'u doesn't necessarily mean, cut off can mean cut off as in physically cut off or metaphysically cut off. If you cut someone off from a source of water, then they're denied the access to that water. So if you cut off like a hose, then you're cutting off the water that flows from it. So cutting off doesn't necessarily have to mean the actual removal of hands, but stopping their hands as a way of denying them the ability to steal. Of course, that is an explanation that is more humane. The most obvious explanation is cut off, meaning to sever.
Cut off their hands,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the straightforward translation.
Straightforward translation. But yeah, if you cut off a water supply, then you're denying the water supply. So that's kind of the concept.
You can find another explanation for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because cut off means many things. It can mean literal or it can mean metaphorical. So, bit of a tough couple of set of verses that we have today.
Yes, but also now I remember that before we started the Surah Al-Ma'idah, which is the 5th chapter, I remember that we mentioned it at the beginning, that this is one of the latest chapters to be revealed in the Quran. So in the order of the Mus'haf, it's in the beginning, but the order of revelation, it was at the very end.
Yeah.
So I think this is also maybe why it includes all the hudud, like all the limits to be applied on people who kill or people who steal, and like very specific things. I think, and now when I'm thinking about it. Like there are some societies where people don't really steal. Like I heard in Dubai, for example, it's very safe.
Yeah.
You can just leave your stuff and nobody steals there.
Yeah.
So I think if you are living in a very good society where people don't need someone to force the laws on them, then maybe this will not be very harsh because people already are not stealing. Like no one is really stealing, and this will be just a way to intimidate people or to make them scared of stealing. That if you steal, there's a harsh punishment for that. But people would be already they don't do it anyway. But the thing is, when you think about now and today, it's very difficult to, because also, but I think also that I read once that after the prophet died, the first Khalifa,
the first caliphate,
Abu Bakr, there was people who were very poor. كان في وقت الناس ما كانتش يعني كان في فقر كتير.
Great poverty.
Yeah, and then he stopped implementing this because people were stealing to eat. Like they were stealing because they needed to eat. So I think that for all these rules, like the very harsh rules, it also needs to be taken into context.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you for the first verse, the very severe verse. I don't think that this is applicable anymore now, and I don't think that this is also very applicable nowadays, because also there's a lot of poverty and people are not living a very comfortable life. So if someone steals to feed his family, I wouldn't cut his hand,
Yeah. And then continuation after every punishment, there is the reprieve.
فمن تاب من بعد ظلمه وأصلح فإن الله يتوب عليه إن الله غفور رحيم.
But whoever repents, that's coming from the speaker. But whoever repented from after his wrongdoing and reforms, then indeed God will turn to forgiveness towards him, and indeed God is oft forgiving and most merciful. So here we see that even though it's an extreme punishment, there is kind of, if he does repent and does seek forgiveness and change his ways, then surely God will also turn to forgiveness, because God is most forgiving, most merciful.
ألم تعلم أن الله له ملك السماوات والأرض يعذب من يشاء ويغفر لمن يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير.
And here we kind of see the conclusion of the statements, the finality of all those punishments and forgiveness. Do you not know that to him belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth? He torments and punishes whoever he wills, and he forgives whoever he wills, and God is of everything all powerful and capable. Yeah. Clean, pretty straightforward.
يا أيها الرسول لا يحزنك الذين يسارعون في الكفر من الذين قالوا آمنا بأفواههم ولم تؤمن قلوبهم ومن الذين هادوا سماعون للكذب سماعون لقوم آخرين لم يأتوك يحرفون الكلم من بعد مواضعه يقولون إن أوتيتم هذا فخذوه وإن لم تؤتوه فاحذروا ومن يرد الله فتنته فلن تملك له من الله شيئا أولئك الذين لم يرد الله أن يطهر
Okay, kind of a tough one. I'm going to read the English first because it's a bit confusing to me.
Why?
Who eagerly listen to lies.
You can just read it out loud.
Yeah, I probably should just read it out loud. O messenger, do not grieve for those who race to disbelieve, those who say we believe with their tongues, but their hearts are in disbelief, nor those among the Jews who eagerly listen to lies, attentive to those who are too arrogant to come to you. They distort the scripture, taking rulings out of context, and say, if this is the ruling you get from Muhammad, accept it. If not, beware. However, Allah allows to be deluded. You can never be of any help to them against Allah. It is not Allah's will to purify their hearts. For them is disgrace in this world, and they suffer a tremendous punishment in the hereafter. But let's take it word for word, or...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. أيها الرسول.
But actually, I find that I found something in the English translation that's not like the Arabic interpretation. Yeah. So the verse is talking to the Prophet, to
But why does
Muhammad,
it say يا أيها الرسول?
meaning
Oh,
prophet.
messenger.
Messenger. Oh, messenger. Yes.
Okay. Do not grieve for those who hasten or go speed up in their disbelief. Of those who said that we believe with their mouths, but they do not believe in their hearts.
So we talked a lot about people who show that they believe, but do not really believe in their hearts, and they are called al-munafiqun or al-munafiqin. So here it tells the messenger, do not grieve or do not be sad
for them
if they run off to again being disbelievers.
Yeah. And from those who are Jews, that they are listeners to falsehood and listeners for people other who have not come to you.
Yeah, so meaning and do not also grieve because of Jews who hear a lot of lies from their their priests or their superiors. They hear a lot of lies from them. They hear to these other people, and these other people don't come to you. Like, do not listen to the Prophet. Their superiors or their priests do not go to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to listen. They do not listen to him.
Yeah.
And they do not come to you, and they distort the words that were given to them, meaning that they distorted the Torah.
Yeah.
And then they say, if you have been given this in the Arabic explanation, it says this what we are saying, like the Jews.
If you hear from
Muhammad, you hear us say this, take it. And if you do not take it from us, then be careful.
If you didn't hear it from us, then be careful. And here it explains, and whoever God intends his trial, then you'll never have power. Then you'll never have power for him.
If God wants to misguide someone, meaning like if God doesn't want to guide someone to the right way, then you have nothing to do that for him.
Yeah, those are the ones that that God will never intend to purify their hearts. For them in this world is a disgrace, and for them in the hereafter is a punishment that is severe.
Yeah, so it's all talking to the messenger and telling him to not be sad about people who disbelieve after believing, and the Jews who do not listen to him and their followers, and that God is the only one who has the power to guide someone. So do not also be sad because of someone who does not follow you or who's misguided, because it's God's
will that they do this and behave this. And okay, clear.
فإن جاءوك فاحكم بينهم أو أعرض شيئا وإن حكمت فاحكم بينهم بالقسط إن الله يحب المقسطين.
So here it's saying, continuation to talking to the prophet, they are the listeners to falsehoods and the devourers of the forbidden good, taking something that doesn't belong to them. So if they come to you, then judge between them or turn away from them. And if you were to turn away from them, then they will never harm you in anything. And if you judge for them, then judge between them with justice. And like this is with like precise justice. Indeed, God loves the ones who are just.
And the story that is mentioned behind this verse in the tafsir is that Jews came to the Prophet to judge in the matter of two people who committed fornication. It's called fornication?
Yeah.
Sinna? Adultery while they were married. Because what is written in the interpretation is that the punishment for that in the Torah is stoning. Yeah. And they didn't want to stone them, and then they went to the Prophet and told them and asked him to give like punishment for them. But then he gave the same punishment, and then they still didn't listen to him. So and it was mentioned another story as well that they came to him about someone who killed a person, and then also they didn't listen to him for one reason or the other. But then this is why, like in this verse, it's talking to the Prophet. When they come to you to judge between them, always do it in justice. Yeah. Always give
or turn away from them. You don't have to.
Or turn away from them.
Yeah. Interesting that you share that story, because the same story was given to Jesus, that someone had committed adultery, and he was always forgive. And they came to him. They're like, okay, so our scripture says that we're supposed to stone her. Yeah. What does your forgiveness say to this?
Yeah.
And then he drew a line in the sand and wrote, "Let ye who has no sin throw the first stone."
Yeah.
So that he added a condition to stone her. In order to stone her, you have to be of no sin yourself, which was kind of pretty much telling them that, okay, show me who amongst you doesn't have sin.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do it. So interesting that you kind of share that story. Okay.
وكيف يحكمونك وعندهم التوراة فيها حكم الله ثم يتولون من بعد ذلك وأولئك بالمؤمنين.
Continuing exactly what you said. And God is saying, how do they appoint you as a judge while they have the Torah with them? And it is the command of God, and then they turn away from after that, and not those are.
And they are not believers.
And they are not true believers. Exactly as you said, they had the judgment, but they still go to the prophets.
Yeah.
إنا أنزلنا التوراة فيها هدى ونور يحكم بها النبيون الذين أسلموا للذين هادوا والربانيون والأحبار بما استحفظوا من كتاب الله وكانوا عليه شهداء فلا تخشوا الناس واخشوني ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا ومن لم يحكم بما أنزل الله فأولئك هم الكافرون.
Okay. Indeed, we have revealed the Torah. In it has guidance and light, judge so that we can judge between them by it, so the prophets can judge by it for those who have submitted to God. Here it says Aslamu, which is the word Islam, which means submitted to God. That's the actual meaning of it. For those who are Jews and the rabbis and the scholars of what they have entrusted from the book of God, and they were to it witnesses. So do not fear those people, but fear me, and do not sell my verses for a small price. And whoever does not judge with what has been revealed by God, then those are the ones that are disbelievers. So here, yeah, again, very high praise for the Torah, saying that the Torah is guidance and is light, and that if you don't believe in it, and if you're selling it for a little value or concealing parts of it for a little value, then those are the ones that are disbelievers, and they're the problem. Yeah.
وكتبنا عليهم فيها أن النفس بالنفس والعين بالعين والأنف بالأنف والأذن بالأذن والسن بالسن والجروح قصاص فمن تصدق به فهو كفارة له ومن لم يحكم بما أنزل الله فأولئك هم الظالمون.
Okay, here, and we ordained on them in it that the life, or the self for a self, the life for a life, the eye for an eye, the nose for a nose, and the ear for an ear, and the tooth for a tooth, and for the wounds, retribution. But whoever gives charity with it, then it is an expiation. It forgives on behalf of it. It's kind of like something that you can do in half of it. You can give a compensation of charity for him, and whoever does not judge, and whoever does not judge with what has been revealed by God, then those are the ones that are the wrongdoers.
Yeah, I think this is the verse that I confused at the beginning when it was mentioned about people who kill. But now I'm thinking, and here it's mentioned that this was ordained for them in the Torah, meaning for the Jews.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if it's the same for us. I don't think it's the same in the Quran. I don't think that it's the same rules in the Quran.
We have heard a similar rule to this in Surah Al-Baqarah. النفس بالنفس, the free man with the free man, the slave woman for the slave woman.
Yeah, I think something similar.
Something similar
Yes.
has been given to us, but
Yes.
forgiving is always better, and God is always suggested.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is similarities between the two. If anything, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't listen to this rule at all, do they? They do the 1,000 for the one.
Yeah.
Okay, no politics while we're reading the Quran.
وقفينا على آثارهم بعيسى ابن مريم مصدقا لما بين يديه من التوراة وآتيناه الإنجيل فيه هدى ونور ومصدقا لما بين يديه من التوراة وهدى وموعظة للمتقين.
Yep, and here they say, and we sent, like we sent in like following the footsteps, kind of in following on their footsteps. Isa, Jesus, Ibn Maryam, son of Maryam, confirming what was between his hands from the Torah, and we gave him the Injil, which is the Bible. In it is guidance and light, confirming what was between his hands from the Torah and the guidance, and an admonition for the God conscious, a lesson for the God conscious, a guide and a lesson.
وليحكم أهل الإنجيل بما أنزل الله فيه ومن لم يحكم
And so let the judge وليحكم أهل الإنجيل, and let the judge,
the people of
let the
the
people
Bible,
of the Bible
meaning
judge
the
by what
followers of Jesus.
the people of the Bible, the followers of Jesus, by what has revealed God in it. And whoever does not judge with what has been revealed by God, then those are the defiantly disobedient. Do you stop at 51?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
وأنزلنا إليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه من الكتاب ومهيمنا عليه فاحكم بينهم بما أنزل الله ولا تتبع أهواءهم عما جاءك من الحق لكل جعلنا منكم شرعة ومنهاجا ولو شاء الله لجعلكم أمة واحدة ولكن ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم فاستبقوا الخيرات إلى الله مرجعكم جميعا فينبئكم بما كنتم فيه تختلفون.
Okay. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
And we revealed upon you in the book in truth, confirming to what was before his hands from the book, and the guardian and the guardian over it. So judge between them with what has been revealed by God, and do not follow the vain desires when has come to you from the truth. And for each we have made from you a law and a clear way, and if God had willed, he would have made you all a community that is one. But he tests you in what he has given to you. So race in the good to God. To God you will return, all of you. So he will inform you with what you were in it concerning and differing. Which I think this is a main theme that we're seeing in the Quran time and time again. There is a difference between the Christians, Jews, and Muslims, and that difference is intentional. And God has given slightly different instructions to all three. And here he's saying all of you should follow your specific instructions, and God will explain to you the difference of what you were differing in by the end of times. It is not for us to understand why, it is for us to do as our people do. And follow the rules that have been revealed to us by God, and follow the guidance. The Torah has guidance, the Bible has guidance, and the Quran has guidance. And we're supposed to follow it, and we're supposed to be different.
Yeah. Yeah, basically it says if God wanted us to be all the same thing, he would have done it this way.
Yeah, a community, one community.
One community.
Then he would have, but he did it to test you in what he has given to you.
Yeah.
So race in the good. So yeah, it's religious capitalism. It's the Jews versus the Muslims versus the Christians, but not in.
No, I don't think it's versus.
Not versus in the against each other. Versus in which of you can do best. Which of you can do the better good in the world? Which of you can follow the rules?
No, but I don't think it's also by group. I think that there can be very good Muslims and very good Christians and very good Jews.
But I think the sum of the whole, like, are the Muslims. Like, I think of it like three different classes, all competing for the highest marks.
No, I don't. No.
That's what it's saying here.
No.
So race in good. Race
for everyone. So all of you, all these people, if you were given Quran or you were given the Bible or you were given the Torah, everyone just race and do good. And in so many verses it mentions, if you are a good person and you believe in God and you do good, then you will be fine.
Here is a verse from Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 148. And for everyone, a direction he turns towards. So race in the good wherever you will be, and you will bring to God you will be brought to God together. Indeed, God is of everything capable. I'm sorry, when I see race, and I see it time and time again, I don't see it as
but
every individual.
it doesn't mean, do you think it's like every religion?
I think it's Christians,
No.
Muslims, and Jews.
No.
And then in the end, he will inform you of what you were concerning and differing in it.
And what you were differing in, but who's best, not in who's best. I don't think that there is...
فَاسْتَبِقُوا بِالْخَيْرَاتِ, so race to do good.
Yes, all of you.
And here,
whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're a Jew.
He's specifically calling out those three. And he's specifically saying they differ.
Yeah.
And he's saying race.
For everyone.
I know, everyone is racing.
He's saying that you are three groups and you are different. And for each of you, you have your own way.
Yes.
And at the end, all of you do good, race to do good. And at the end, God will inform you in what was different between all of you. It doesn't mean that Muslims will be better than Christians, or Christians will be better than Muslims, and Jews will be better than...
I said that we have to see, in the end, there's going to be a result.
It's not a football match.
It is a football match.
No.
The reason why
it's not a football match.
Let me explain. Let me explain
who's
why.
Gonna win.
Let me explain why. Because in humanity is this innate nature to compete. You can see it. People are killing each other, fighting for the stage, fighting. Humans have this innate desire to it's not like bad competition. It's like capitalism in the good way. Like capitalism in bad way can be destructive, but competition creates a positive rivalry.
But I have to say that here it says in the verse, for each of you, for each group of you, we have made a law, okay? And a clear way. If God wanted, he would have made you all one community. So but he did that to test you in what you were given.
Yeah, so you're not
to
one
test
community.
you in what you were given.
And they were all three
not given, to test you against each other.
But each of them was given something different.
Yes,
and each of them has to follow their specific rules.
Okay, let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree. I have the way I see it, and you have the way you see it. But also because there are a lot of verses that speak about very good Jews and very good Christians.
I agree.
Those who believe in God and those who do good things, and they will be fine at the end. So this is why, in my mind, I think of it like whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Jew, you can be good in your own way, in your own given way.
They're all competing to be good.
Everyone, let's say everyone is competing, but not as a football, not as a football team, you know, not like the Muslims team, together.
But in a way, it's to see who's gonna do it better.
The best group.
Who's gonna be the better good? Who's gonna do the most
for each person? Because it is also in religion in general, everyone, and it's also mentioned all through the Quran. So each. For his own or whatever, I don't know how to say it, but it's like if you do good, you will be rewarded for it. If you do bad, you will be punished for it. Yeah. You as an individual, not your group, not your football team. You know,
I see it clearly as there has to be a difference between Christian, Jew, and Muslim. And
I don't think so.
And there is a test for each of the groups to do good within their structures.
I don't think so.
That's what you're saying.
I think that there were three messages from God at three different times with three different messengers, and they all brought a good message to people, and people started following.
It's all goodness.
These messages.
We're saying all three of them are good.
And people can be good from any team, and we are not competing against each other.
Competing in goodness. Who can be the gooder?
Let's agree.
Who can be gooder?
But the thing is, you will be rewarded or punished yourself.
Every individual,
every single person.
Sure.
You will not be punished for what other Muslims did.
It's not about it, but the
or
concept
the
is
Christian guy will not be punished for what other
how
Christian
well we teach, how well we educate, how well we keep our minds open, how well we conceal what's in the books. All three
for yourself.
Yeah,
this
I know,
is something that you do for yourself.
But as a people, we also count. Anyway, let's.
Yeah, let's agree to disagree.
This is a little bit of Arabian spice, a little bit of Arabian drama. This is how we kind of we can be a little bit flavorful, let's say.
We should do this every time.
Just woke us up. This really gave us a kick of energy.
وأنحكم بينهم بما أنزل الله ولا تتبع أهواءهم واحذرهم أن يفتنوك عن بعض ما أنزل الله إليك فإن تولوا فاعلم أنما يريد الله أن يصيبهم ببعض ذنوبهم وإن كثيرا من الناس لفاسقون.
Okay. And you judge between them by what has been revealed by God, and do not follow their vain desires, and beware of them, lest they tempt you away from some of what God has revealed to you. And if they turn away, then know that indeed that God only wants to afflict them for some of their sins, and indeed many of the people are defiantly disobedient. Some people are just refusing to learn the lesson, refusing to be good, refusing to do the right thing, and don't be swayed by them. Follow the letter of the rule to the letter of what God has suggested.
أفحكم الجاهلية يبغون ومن أحسن من الله حكما لقوم يوقنون.
We stop at 50, not 51.
50,
Yeah. Is it the judgment of the ignorance, the people from before the time of the Islam, that they seek those who is better than God in judgment for a people that firmly believe?
And who is better than God to judge?
Yeah, is it a judgment of pre-Islamic ignorance that they seek? Who could be a better judge than God for the people of faith?
For people, yeah.
Yeah. Cool, fantastic. We gave you a little bit of a spicy ending, but yeah, cool. I strongly believe in religious capitalism. I strongly believe that we have to do better. We have to be so good. We have to be the bestest. We have to win. We have to win the bester.
It's not a football game.
We have to win. But for people like, I'm sorry, have you seen how people go crazy for football games?
Yeah.
If we can get them to go crazy for doing good, that would be amazing. That would be
But that would also be that would create a lot of racism, or I don't know how to call it, between the different teams. It will not make people live in
But
peace.
racism and hatred and jealousy and judgment are bad, and you are competing to do good. So we have to be even.
No, but it will make people everyone just too much for his own team, and I think that humanity should be good to humanity.
Yeah, but for their own team to do good. So for their team to give the most houses, to support the poor the most, to feed the people, then it becomes becomes an obsession. My team versus your team. Let's do better. I'm gonna feed more children, feed more. It becomes this masculine desire to compete. You put it on a channel to do good. People will start. We'll do once a year, religion off.
Yes, but I don't think that's very good. But why does it have to be between the groups? Why isn't it just between the people? Whatever your religion is, it doesn't matter.
Humans have this. My group is better than yours. Desire.
Yeah, this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like, and this is throughout history. It caused a lot of problems because I'm trying to prove that my group is better than your group.
But a lot of the times, it's used in a negative way that my group deserves more than your group.
Yes, and this is how it always ends up.
But you can change it. I believe in humanity.
I don't think we can change that. I think the only change we can make is that we as humans, this is the only possible change. But as long as we keep thinking my group against your group, it will always be
I believe it can be done. I can be done. I believe in positivity. I believe in healthy competition. I believe that if you put 3 if you tell the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims, you are in a competition to see who can give more charity, who can support more children, who can be kinder, who can be more fair, who can be honest, who can be real, I think that takes that negative thing that is the competition and turns it into something beautiful. It really will make those assholes have something to focus on, because they need that football-esque feel. And then if they're doing good as a result of that, like I will take it. I will take Mr. Crazy Football person doing the hardest good that he can. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get them riled up.
Good for anything that
would be good. Like just get them motivated. Anyway, as usual, we always end the sessions with صدق الله العلي العظيم, which means trusted in the words of God, who is most high and most grand and great. And we thank you here for attending today's session. We love you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. مع السلامة. Ciao, ciao.